Lily Wright sat in her small office at the university. She graded papers about ancient languages while rain tapped on her window. The phone rang. She picked it up, expecting a call from another teacher. Instead, a deep voice spoke. The man said he worked for the government. They needed her help right away. A helicopter would arrive in 30 minutes to pick her up. Lily thought it was a joke, but the man sounded very serious. She packed a small bag, not knowing what to expect. When she stepped outside, the helicopter was already waiting. The ride was long and silent. No one would tell her where they were going or why. They landed at a military base. Soldiers rushed her inside a large building. In a room with many screens and computers, she saw the reason for all this rush. On the biggest screen was a picture of a massive ship hanging in space. A woman in a uniform walked up to Lily. "My name is Kate. I run this base." She said, "The ship appeared 3 days ago. They sent us a message, but we cannot understand their language. We think you can help." Lily studied the strange symbols for hours. They were unlike any language on Earth, but she found patterns. The symbols seemed to change based on their position. Like the language had rules she could learn. She worked day and night. Her eyes burned from lack of sleep. On the 4th day, she had a breakthrough. She programmed a computer to translate the basic message. The aliens called themselves the Zalarians. They wanted to meet humans. They would send a small ship to Earth in 2 days. When the small ship landed in a field near the base, Lily stood with Kate and several soldiers. Her heart beat fast. This was first contact with aliens. The fate of humanity might depend on what happened next. The ship door opened. 3 tall figures stepped out. Lily gasped. They stood 7 feet tall with blue skin covered in glowing marks. Their eyes were completely silver without pupils. They were all female with long necks and 4-fingered hands. The tallest alien stepped forward. She spoke in a musical language. Lily listened carefully, matching the sounds to the symbols she had studied. She typed on her tablet, trying different responses. The alien tilted her head when Lily showed her the tablet with symbols. The tall being made a sound like bells ringing. She took out her own device and typed. After several tries, they could communicate in basic ways. "My name is Commander Zira." The alien typed, "We come from the Zalarian Empire. We wish to establish relations with your world." Over the next weeks, Lily learned more of their language. The Zalarians were an ancient race. They had traveled space for thousands of years. They considered themselves the most advanced beings in the galaxy. The government officials were impressed with Lily's work. They named her the official ambassador to the Zalarians. She would travel to their mothership to continue talks. Lily felt both excited and scared. She was a teacher, not a diplomat, but no one else could communicate with the aliens as well as she could. On the day of departure, Lily stood nervously by the Zalarian shuttle. Commander Zira waited for her. The alien had never shown any emotion. Her face stayed blank. Her silver eyes never blinked. The trip to the mothership took only minutes. The shuttle docked inside a massive bay. Lily stepped out and froze. The inside of the alien ship was enormous. Hundreds of blue-skinned females moved about working on strange machines. The ceiling glowed with soft light. The air smelled like cinnamon, and Metal Zira led Lily through long hallways. They passed rooms filled with plants and water. Other Zalarians stopped to stare at Lily. Some made clicking sounds with their tongues. Lily felt like an animal in a zoo. "These will be your rooms," said Zira, pointing to a door. "You will meet the council tomorrow. They will decide if humans are worth talking to." Lily entered her new living space. The room adjusted itself as she walked in. The lights dimmed to a level comfortable. For human eyes, the temperature warmed slightly. The bed reshaped to fit a human body. The Zalarians had studied humans well. That night, Lily could not sleep. She stood by a large window, looking out at the stars and Earth below. She was the first human to live on an alien ship, the first to try to build peace with beings from another world. She felt the weight of this task on her shoulders. In the morning, another Zalarian came to her door. This one was shorter than Zira. Her markings glowed with a gentle blue light. My name is Nara, she typed on her device. I will be your guide and assistant. Nara took Lily to a large round room. 12 Zilarians sat in tall chairs. Commander Zira stood in the center. She spoke in their language while Nara translated. For Lily, the Zilarians have watched Earth for many years. Nara explained. They think humans are primitive and emotional. Your technology is basic. Your societies are chaotic. They are not sure if you deserve to join the galactic community. Lily felt a flash of anger at these words. Who were they to judge humanity? But she kept her face calm. She would show them that humans had value. Zira continued speaking, her voice cold. The Council has decided that humans will be granted protected status. This means no other alien race can attack Earth. In exchange, we require access to your water resources. The terms are not open for discussion. Lily took a deep breath. This was not a fair deal. They were treating Earth like a colony, not an equal. The real negotiations were about to begin, and Lily was the only one who could speak for all humans. Lily stepped forward. Her hands shook a little, but her voice stayed steady. I thank the Council for their offer, she said, but I must ask some questions before I can agree. The Zilarians looked at each other. Some made the clicking sound Lily had heard. Before she could tell they were surprised, a few seemed angry. What questions could you possibly have asked one with bright purple markings? Humans should be grateful for our protection. Lily stood taller. How much water do you need? She asked. And from, where will you take it? What methods will you use? Will you drain our oceans or tap our ice caps? What effect will this have on our climate commander? Zira waved her hand dismissively. Such concerns are beneath us. Our technology is perfect. There will be no damage to your world. I need to see the technology, Lily said. I need to understand how it works. I need proof that it is safe. This is not a small matter. Water is life on Earth. Another council member leaned forward. Her silver eyes narrowed. How dare you question us, she hissed. Do you think your primitive science can understand our methods? We have harvested resources from 1,000 worlds. That may be true, Lily said, her voice still calm. But none of those worlds were Earth. This is our home, our only home. We must protect it. I cannot agree to anything that might harm it. The council room erupted in angry clicks and musical tones. Zira raised her hand for silence. The Zilarian commander studied Lily with cold eyes. You show unusual courage. For a human, she said finally. But courage without wisdom is dangerous. Your world needs our protection. Other races are not as kind as we are. We welcome your protection, Lily replied. But as partners, not as servants, I propose a different arrangement. Let us form a committee. Human scientists can work with Zilarian engineers to find the best way to share water resources with minimal impact on Earth. Impossible, shouted one council member. We do not share our technology, then we do not share our water, Lily said simply. The room fell silent. Zira and the council whispered among themselves. Lily waited, her heart pounding, but her face showing no fear. She had no authority to make such demands, but the Zilarians did not know that. Finally, Zira turned back to her. We will consider your proposal, she said. The council needs time to discuss. Send her back to her quarters. Nara led Lily back through the winding corridors. The young Zilarian seemed different now. She kept glancing at Lily with what looked like respect. No one has ever spoken to the council like that. Nara typed on her device. They are not used to being questioned. Lily sighed. I hope I did not ruin everything, she replied. But I must protect Earth. Nara tilted her head. Your loyalty to your world is admirable, she typed after a moment. Even if your methods are strange. For 3 days, Lily remained in her rooms. Food appeared regularly. The bed adjusted to help her sleep, but no one came to speak with her. She began to worry. She had failed. In her mission, the Zilarians might leave without an agreement, or worse, they might take what they wanted by force. On the 4th day, Nara arrived. Commander Zira requests your presence. She typed, the council has reached a decision. Lily followed Nara back to the council chamber. Her mouth felt dry. Her future and possibly Earth's hung in the balance. Zira stood in the center of the room as before. The council members watched Lily with their unblinking silver eyes. "We have considered your words," Zira said through the translation device. "The council has agreed to form a joint committee. Zalarian engineers will work with human scientists to develop acceptable water collection methods." Lily felt a wave of relief. "Thank you," she said. "I believe this will benefit both our peoples. But there is one condition," Zira continued. "You claim to care about understanding our ways. You must prove this. You will live among us for one full cycle of your moon. You will learn our customs, our history, our society. Only then can true cooperation begin." Lily had not expected this. She would be away from Earth for a month, living among aliens with no other humans nearby. The idea was both thrilling and terrifying. "Yes," she said, "I accept." The details were arranged. Quickly, Lily would have access to many parts of the ship, but not all. She would be taught about Zalarian culture. She would help the aliens understand humans better. She would be the bridge between two worlds. Nara was assigned as her permanent guide. The young Zalarian seemed pleased with this arrangement. She led Lily to new quarters closer to the living areas of the ship. "These rooms are in the learning sector," Nara explained. "Here our young ones study and grow. You will have access to our history, records, and cultural databases." The new rooms were larger with more windows. The walls displayed moving images of Zalarian cities and landscapes. Lily saw tall crystal towers, strange plants with moving leaves, and oceans of purple water. "I have a request," Lily said. "I want to meet ordinary Zalarians, not just leaders and scientists. I want to see how you live." Nara tilted her head. "That is unusual," she typed, "but I will ask," to Lily's surprise. Commander Zira approved the request. The next day, Nara took her to the residential sectors of the ship. Here families lived and worked. Lily saw Zalarians of different ages cooking, eating, talking, playing. She noticed something interesting. They often touched each other, pressing palms together and holding the contact. For several seconds, the gesture seemed important. "What are they doing?" Lily asked, pointing to two Zalarians with their palms pressed together. Nara watched them. "That is our greeting," she explained. "It is how we connect. Can anyone do this with anyone else?" Lily asked. "No," Nara typed, looking uncomfortable. "It is only for those who share bonds, family members, close friends, those who have deep trust." As they walked through a garden area, Lily saw something else surprising. A group of smaller Zalarians. Their skin was a lighter blue. Their markings barely glowed. They moved with less grace than the others. "Who are they?" Lily asked. Nara seemed reluctant to answer. "Males," she typed finally. "They rarely leave their living quarters. They are protected and treasured." Lily was amazed. The Zalarians were a female-dominated society, completely opposite from much of human history. She had so many questions, but before she could ask them, alarms began to blare throughout the ship. Red lights flashed. The peaceful garden erupted in chaos. "What is happening?" Lily asked as Nara grabbed her arm. "We are in danger." Nara typed quickly. "We must return to your quarters." But as they rushed through the corridors, the ship suddenly lurched sideways. Lily fell against a wall. Nara tumbled beside her. The lights went out for a moment. Everything was dark. Then emergency lights came on, casting an eerie blue glow. The ship had entered an ion storm. Nara explained, "Damage to critical systems. Dangerous." Around them, Zalarians rushed. In all directions. Some were injured, their blue skin scorched or cut. The perfect order Lily had observed was breaking down. In a crisis, the aliens seemed as vulnerable as humans. Lily and Nara picked themselves up from the floor. The ship shook again, throwing them against the wall. Voices called out in panic. The perfect order of the Zalarian ship had shattered in moments. "We must reach safety." Nara typed her fingers, shaking. She pulled Lily down a side corridor, but Lily stopped as they passed an open doorway. Inside, she saw several Zalarians trying to force open a sealed inner door. Their faces showed rare emotion. "Fear. What's happening there?" Lily asked. Nara glanced inside. The nursery, she typed, "Children are trapped." The door is damaged without thinking. Lily pulled away from Nara and entered the room. The Zalarians turned to look at her, their silver eyes wide with surprise. One tried to push against the door. Her strength was impressive but not enough to move. The jammed panel, Lily studied the door mechanism. It looked similar to hydraulic systems she had seen on Earth. She pointed to a panel on the wall. "Is that the control system?" she asked. A Zalarian, with teacher markings, nodded. "Yes, but it is not working." Lily moved to the panel and pried it open. Inside were tubes and wires arranged in logical patterns. She recognized the basic principles. The door was stuck because pressure had built up in the system. There should be a manual release. She traced the tubes until she found what she was looking for, a small valve hidden behind the main circuits. She pointed to it. "This needs to be turned," she told Nara. "Can you reach it? Your fingers are longer." Nara hesitated, then reached into the panel. Her slender blue fingers stretched to the valve. She turned it slowly. A hissing sound came from the door mechanism. "Now push," Lily called to the others. 3 Zalarians pressed against the door. It moved a few inches, then stuck again. Lily joined them, adding her human strength. The door moved another inch, just enough for the smallest Zalarian to slip through. She disappeared into the room. Beyond the door, young voices cried out. The teacher spoke rapid instructions. The small Zalarian inside began passing children through the gap. Tiny blue bodies with barely glowing markings. Lily and the others received them and moved them to safety. The last child was larger and had trouble fitting through. The gap was too small. "We need to open it wider," Lily said. She examined the panel again. If they could release more pressure, the valve was not enough. She needed to redirect the power. She pointed to different circuits, explaining her idea to Nara. The Zalarian understood quickly. Together, they rewired the panel, bypassing the damaged sections. When Lily connected the final wire, the door slid open halfway. The remaining children rushed out along with their caretaker. The teacher approached Lily. She pressed her palm against her own chest, a gesture Lily had not seen before. "Thank you, human," she said in her own language. Nara translated. The children stared at Lily with wide silver eyes. One small one reached out and touched her hand. The little fingers left a glowing mark on Lily's skin. It tingled but did not hurt. "We must move to the emergency shelters." Nara insisted. "The ship is still unstable." They led the children through shaking corridors. Other Zalarians joined them, forming a protective group around them. Parts of the ceiling had fallen. Lights flickered somewhere, water sprayed from broken pipes. They reached a large room with reinforced walls. Many Zalarians had gathered there. The children were taken to a special section. Commander Zira stood in the center, giving orders. Her uniform was torn. Her usually perfect appearance disrupted. Zira saw Lily and came over. "What are you doing here?" she demanded. "You should be in your quarters." She helped save children from the nursery. Nara explained. The door was stuck. She knew how to fix it. Zira looked at Lily with new interest. "You have technical knowledge. I understand basic mechanics," Lily said. "I saw that your system works on similar principles to ours. The door used hydraulic pressure." "I just released it," Zira turned as another Zalarian called to her. "Emergency in Sector 7, she reported. "The life support systems are damaged. The main engineers are trapped in Sector 4. We cannot reach them." Lily spoke up. "I might be able to help," she said. "What kind of damage?" "Broken connections. The air purifiers are offline. The temperature controls are failing." Lily had studied the ship's diagrams as part of her preparation. "Show me," she said. Zira hesitated, torn between need and pride. Finally she nodded. "Nara, take her to Sector 7. But be careful." Nara led Lily through damaged corridors. They passed injured Zalarians being treated by medical staff. The ship continued to shake, though less violently now. They had passed through the worst of the ion storm. Sector 7 was in chaos. Panels hung from the ceiling. Wires sparked. The air felt thin and hot. Several Zalarians worked frantically at a large control station. Their silver eyes showed fear. "The main computer is down," one explained to Nara. "We cannot restart. The environmental systems. The manual controls are not responding." Lily examined the damaged panels. She recognized some of the technology from her studies. The Zalarians were advanced, but they still used logical systems based on universal principles. She pointed to different sections, explaining what she saw. "The main power relay is damaged here," she said. "And this circuit board is fried, but the backup systems should still work if we can bypass the damaged sections." The Zalarians looked at each other, doubtfully, but they had no better options. They gave Lily tools, strange devices that adjusted to her human hands. They explained how different parts worked. For hours, Lily worked alongside the aliens. Her smaller hands could reach places the Zalarians could not. She showed them improvised solutions using limited materials. The humans at the university often joked about fixing complex equipment with simple tools. Lily never thought those skills would save lives on an alien ship. They reconnected. Circuits rerouted power and manually reset systems. One by one, the environmental controls came back online. The lights stabilized. The air began to cool and freshen. By the time they finished, Lily was exhausted. Her hands were scratched and burned. Her eyes stung from smoke and lack of sleep. But the critical systems were working. The ship was safe. Word of what she had done spread quickly. As she and Nara walked back to the emergency shelter, Zalarians stopped to look at her. Some touched their palms to their chests, the same gesture the teacher had made. Others nodded in acknowledgement. In the shelter, Commander Zira waited for their report. When Nara explained what Lily had done, the commander studied the human with new intensity. "You risked yourself for our ship," she said. Why, Lily shrugged. "I was in danger too. The ship needed fixing. I know how to fix things. It's that simple. But you are not Zalarian." Zira persisted. "These are not your people." Lily thought about how to explain. "They needed help," she said. "I could help, so I did. That's what humans do." Zira seemed puzzled by this concept. "This requires further discussion," she said. "But later, you need rest." Over the next days, Lily continued to help with repairs. The damage to the ship was extensive. Systems that had worked perfectly for centuries now needed rebuilding. She worked alongside Zalarian engineers, showing them human approaches to problem solving. The engineers were reluctant at first, but as they saw her solutions work, they began to ask questions. Why did she try this approach? How did she know that connection would work? Where had she learned these skills? Lily explained that humans often had to improvise. "We don't always have the perfect tool or replacement part," she said. "We learn to make do with what we have. We adapt." The concept fascinated them. Their society valued perfection and order. Adaptation and improvisation were not highly regarded, but the crisis had shown the value of these human traits. Nara stayed with Lily. Throughout, she translated, she explained, she helped. But more than that, she watched. She observed how Lily interacted with other Zalarians, how she approached problems, how she remained calm under pressure. One evening, as they rested after a long day of repairs, Nara typed a message to Lily. "You are not what we expected." "What did you expect?" Lily asked. Nara hesitated, then typed, "Primitive, emotional, selfish. We were told humans only care about themselves, that you fight constant wars, that you destroy your own world." "Some of that is true," Lily admitted. "We have wars. We damage our environment. But that's not all we are. We also create. We connect. We help each other. And yes, we help others. Even those who are different from us." Nara seemed to consider this. "I have been instructed to learn about humans," she typed. "That is why I was assigned to you, but I did not expect to learn such things." As the ship slowly returned to normal functioning, Lily noticed changes. The Zalarians treated her differently. The cold disdain was gone, replaced by curiosity. Even respect engineers sought her opinion on repairs. Council members stopped to speak with her in the corridors, and Nara. The young Zalarian no longer just translated and explained. She asked questions. About Earth, about human customs, about relationships. She shared more about her own life. She was a junior diplomatic officer. The assignment to guide Lily was her first important task. Lily learned that touch was sacred to Zolarians. Only family members and close companions shared the palm greeting she had witnessed. The deeper the relationship, the longer the palm touch was held. Those who had touched their palms to their chests when looking at Lily had been showing respect, a gesture usually reserved for respected elders or teachers. Slowly, something was changing aboard the massive alien ship. The barriers between species were beginning to fall. 2 weeks had passed since the ion storm. The ship was mostly repaired. Life returned to its ordered pattern. Lily continued her work as ambassador, learning Zolarian customs and teaching them about humans. Each day brought new understanding. Then disaster struck again. Lily was meeting with a group of Zolarian scientists. They were discussing Earth oceans and how water collection might work. A young engineer rushed into the room. Her markings flashed with agitation. Emergency in coolant sector. She gasped. The main valve has failed, temperature rising in the core. Critical levels in 30 minutes. The scientists jumped to their feet, rushing toward the door. Nara grabbed Lily's arm. "We must go to the emergency shelter," she typed. But Lily pulled back. "What will happen? If the coolant fails," she asked, "the core will overheat." Nara typed damage to life support systems, possible radiation release. Many will die. Can it be fixed? Lily asked. The main valve must be replaced, Nara explained. But it is in a narrow service tunnel. Too narrow for Zolarians to reach. All repair drones are damaged from the ion storm. Lily thought quickly. How narrow is the tunnel, she asked. Could a human fit? Nara stared at her. The idea had not occurred to her. Possibly, she typed. But the heat is intense. The radiation levels are dangerous, can we? Staying there, Lily said. I want to see. Nara hesitated, then nodded. They hurried through corridors, passing worried Zolarians rushing to safety. They reached the engineering section. A group of engineers worked frantically at control panels. Their faces showed rare fear. Commander Zero was there giving orders, her voice sharp. When she saw Lily, she frowned. Why is the human here? This is not safe. Lily stepped forward. I might be able to help, she said. The tunnel. How big is it? One engineer looked up from her panel. The access tunnel is 40 centimeters in diameter, she said. But the temperature is rising. It is already 100 degrees in there. The radiation will damage cells. Lily nodded. I understand. The risks, she said. But I'm smaller than your people. I can fit. Can you tell me what needs to be done? The engineers looked at Zira. The commander studied Lily, her silver eyes unreadable. Why would you do this? She asked. Finally, this is not your ship. These are not your people, Lily. Met her gaze. Because I can, she said simply. If I do nothing, people will die. I cannot let that happen if I can prevent it. Zira was silent for a long moment. Then she turned to the engineers. Prepare her. Show her what must be done. They moved quickly. The engineers showed Lily diagrams of the coolant system. They explained how the valve worked, what had failed, and how to replace it. They gave her protective clothing designed for Zolarian males. It was too large, but better than nothing. A helmet with a breathing system was adjusted to fit her human head. Special gloves would protect her hands for a short time. But the engineers were honest. The heat would penetrate quickly. She would have 10 minutes at most before suffering serious burns. The radiation exposure would be significant. Are you certain? Nara typed, her fingers trembling. This is not required of you. No one will think less of you if you refuse. Lily smiled at her. I know, she said, but I would think less of myself. The access panel was opened. Hot air rushed out. The narrow tunnel stretched ahead, dim red emergency lights showing the way. The valve was 20 meters in at a junction point. Lily lay on her stomach and began to crawl. The tunnel was tight, but passable. The heat hit her immediately. sweat pouring down her face. The protective clothing already felt hot against her skin. She moved as quickly as she could. The engineers guided her through a communication device in her helmet. Turn left at the junction. They said the valve assembly is on your right. You will see the crack in the main housing. Lily reached the junction. The heat was intense now. Her vision blurred. She blinked, sweat from her eyes. The valve was there just as they described. A clear crack ran through the housing. Coolant leaked from it in a steaming stream. The replacement part was in a pouch at her side. The engineers had explained the process. Remove the housing. Detach the broken valve. Insert the new one. Reattach the housing. 5 steps. Simple in theory. Her hands shook as she unscrewed the housing. The metal burned through her gloves. She gasped in pain but continued. The housing came free. She set it aside. Carefully, she detached the broken valve. It was heavier than she expected. 7 minutes had passed. The engineers' voices in her helmet sounded worried. Your vital signs are elevated, they said. The heat is affecting you. You must hurry. Lily took the new valve from the pouch. Her burned fingers fumbled it. Almost slipped from her grasp. She caught it, pressing it into place. It clicked satisfyingly. The engineers had designed well. Now the housing. She picked it up, wincing as it touched her already burned skin. She aligned it carefully. The screws were tiny, difficult to handle with injured fingers. 9 minutes, the tunnel seemed to spin around her. The air in her helmet felt thin, despite the breathing system. She focused on the final screws. 1, 2, 3. 4 done. She tested the valve. No more leaks. The coolant flow stabilized. The engineers' voices cheered in her helmet. The temperature is dropping, they said. The core is stabilizing. You did it. Now come back quickly. The return journey was worse. Her strength was fading. The heat had done its damage. She crawled slowly, each movement bringing fresh pain. Her vision tunneled, darkness creeping in at the edges. She saw the access panel ahead. Light spilled through it. Figures waited. She made a final push, then felt hands grabbing her, pulling her out. Cool air rushed over her as the helmet was removed. She blinked, seeing blue faces with silver eyes looking down at her. Then darkness took her. Lily woke in the medical bay. Her hands and arms were wrapped in translucent bandages. A cool gel covered her skin, soothing the burns. A Zilarian doctor stood nearby, monitoring displays. You are awake, the doctor said through a translation device. Good. Your injuries are serious but not life-threatening. Our medical technology will repair the damage. The radiation exposure was limited. Your protective clothing helped. Lily tried to sit up but felt dizzy. The ship, she asked, is it safe? Yes, the doctor replied. The coolant system is functioning normally. You prevented a disaster. Many lives were saved. Lily lay back, relieved. The door opened and Nara entered. The young Zilarian rushed to her side. Her silver eyes seemed to shine with emotion. She took out her device and typed quickly. You are recovering well. The doctors say you will heal completely. Lily smiled weakly. Good news, she said. How long was I unconscious? 2 days, Nara typed. Many have come to see you. Commander Zira, council members, engineers. Even some children. The ones you helped save during the ion storm. They leave gifts. She pointed to a table covered with strange objects, crystal sculptures, small devices that emitted soft light, containers of what looked like food. The doctor approached. Your body needs rest, she said. The burns will heal faster if you sleep. Lily nodded, already feeling tired again. As her eyes closed, she felt a light touch on her arm. Nara had placed her blue hand gently on Lily's unburned skin. The contact was brief, but meaningful. When Lily next awoke, Commander Zira stood by her bed. The tall Zilarian looked as perfect as ever, her uniform pristine, her posture rigid. But something was different in her silver eyes. You are recovering well, she said. Your actions saved this ship, saved many lives. The council has been informed. Lily nodded. Thank you, she said. I'm glad I could help. Zira seemed to struggle with something unusual for the composed commander. Why, she said finally. Why risk yourself for us, when we have shown you nothing but condescension? Lily considered the question. It was the right thing to do. She said, I would have done the same for anyone. The concept seemed simple to her, but she could see Zira found it confusing. You would risk death for strangers? Zira pressed. For beings not of your kind. Yes. Lily said, if I can help, I help. That is what makes us human at our best. We connect, we care. Not just for our family or our group, but for anyone who needs us. Zira was silent for a long moment. You have given us much to consider, she said finally. Rest. Now. Heal. The council will speak with you when you are stronger. In the days that followed, Lily recovered quickly. The Zalarian medical technology was remarkable. The burns healed, leaving no scars. The radiation damage was reversed. Her strength returned. Nara visited daily. Their conversations grew deeper, more personal. The young Zalarian admitted that her people had been taught humans were primitive, emotional, and unpredictable. We believed your emotions made you weak, Nara typed. But I have seen differently. Your emotions drive you to help others. They give you courage. They connect you to strangers. Your compassion is not weakness. It is strength. Lily smiled at this. You are learning, she said. Nara hesitated, then typed. I have requested to be assigned to Earth as part of the diplomatic team that will follow our agreement. I wish to learn more about humans. Lily felt a surge of happiness. I would like that, she said. You would be welcome on Earth. As Lily regained her strength, she began to walk through the ship again. She noticed changes in how the Zalarians treated her. The cold formality was gone. The scientists asked her questions about human inventiveness. The engineers showed her their designs, asking for her input. Even the council members nodded respectfully when she passed. Commander. Zira informed her that she would soon be well enough to return to the diplomatic meetings. The water negotiations would resume. But Lily sensed something had changed. The balance of power had shifted. Not because humans had shown superior strength or technology, but because of qualities the Zalarians had never valued. Compassion, adaptability, the willingness to help without expectation of return. Lily stood before the council again, 1 month after her arrival on the Zalarian ship. The same room, the same 12 council members. But everything else had changed. She wore a special garment made for her. A Zalarian formal robe adjusted for human proportions. The blue fabric shimmered with embedded lights that responded to her movements. Nara had explained it was an honor, rarely given to non-Zalarians. Commander Zira stood beside her, not across from her. The commander spoke first, addressing the council in their musical language Nara no longer needed to translate. Lily had learned enough of their speech to understand the basics. The human ambassador has fulfilled her obligation. Zira said, she has lived among us for 1 full cycle of her moon. She has learned our ways. She has proven her worth. Through her actions during our twin crises, she has demonstrated the value of human qualities. The council leader leaned forward. Her elaborate head covering marked her high status. We have reviewed the reports, she said. We have consulted with those who witnessed these events. We are prepared to revise our assessment of humans. Lily felt a wave of relief, but kept her face composed as the Zalarians did. She had learned their ways. The leader continued. The initial terms for our agreement are withdrawn. Instead, we propose a true partnership. Zalarian engineers will work with human scientists to develop water collection methods that respect your world. Earth will be granted full sovereign status in the Galactic Registry. No race, including our own, may take resources without consent. This was more than Lily had hoped for. Earth would enter the galactic community as an equal, not as a protectorate or colony. The implications were enormous. Access to advanced technology, cultural exchange, protection from hostile species. I accept these terms on behalf of Earth, Lily said. She had been granted this authority before leaving home. The council members touched their palms to their chests, the gesture of respect. The negotiations were concluded as the formal meeting ended. The council members approached Lily one by one. Each spoke a few words in their language phrases. Lily now understood. Words of respect. Words acknowledging what she had done for their ship and people. The last to approach was the council leader. She was ancient, even by Zalarian standards. Her skin a deep blue, her markings bright with wisdom. She looked down at Lily, with ancient silver eyes. "You have changed us little. Human," she said in her own language. "We thought we knew all races. We thought we had seen all qualities. We were wrong. Your people have much to teach us." Lily bowed her head in the Zalarian manner. "I believe we have much to learn from each other," she replied. The leader made a sound like soft bells, a laugh. Lily realized she had rarely heard Zalarians laugh. "Yes," she agreed. "That is wisdom. Later." Lily packed her few belongings. She would return to Earth tomorrow to report on the agreement. A Zalarian diplomatic team would follow Nara among them. They would establish the first alien embassy on Earth. Scientists and engineers would begin working together on the water collection project. A soft chime announced a visitor. Lily called out permission. To enter, the door slid open. Commander Zira stepped in. Her posture was perfect as always, but something had changed. She seemed less rigid, more at ease. "I come to speak with you before your departure," she said. "I believe humans call this a private conversation." Lily nodded. "Please sit," she offered, gesturing to a chair designed for Zalarians. Zira sat, her long fingers resting on her knees. "When I first met you," she began, "I believed humans were an inferior species. Primitive, emotional, unworthy of equal status. I was wrong." Lily was surprised by this admission. Zalarians rarely admitted error, especially those of high rank. "Thank you for telling me," she said. Zira continued. "I have studied the reports of your actions during our crises. You risked yourself for strangers. You solved problems with limited resources. You adapted to challenges. Your emotions did not weaken you. They strengthened you. They drove you to help others, even at personal cost. This quality," Zira said, "it is unknown among Zalarians. We value order, perfection, hierarchy. We help those of our family, our community, our status, but not strangers. Not without reason, not at risk to ourselves. We call it compassion." Lily said, or empathy, the ability to feel what others feel, to care about their suffering, to help without expecting return. This quality, Zira said, we wish to understand it. I wish to understand it. I believe it is valuable. Perhaps more valuable than technology or strength. Lily smiled. It is what makes us human at our best, she said. It connects us to each other. And now perhaps it can connect us to you. Zira stood smoothly. Formal again, I have a gift for you, she said. She removed a small crystal from her pocket. It glowed with inner light, changing colors as it moved. This is a memory crystal, she explained. It contains images of your time here, your actions during the crises, the lives you saved. It is a record. For history, Lily accepted the crystal, feeling its warm weight in her palm. Thank you, she said. This means a great deal to me. Zira hesitated. Then, with formal ceremony, she extended her palm. The gesture that Lily now knew was sacred to Zalarians. The entire ship seemed to hold its breath. Lily understood the significance. She placed her palm against Zira's. The commander's skin was warm, slightly textured. The glowing markings tingled against Lily's hand. Zira held the touch for a full minute, marking Lily as a respected equal, the highest honor a Zalarian could bestow. When they separated, Zira bowed slightly. Until we meet again, Ambassador, she said. Then she was gone, her tall figure disappearing down the corridor. That evening, Lily stood at the observation deck for the last time. Earth hung in space below, beautiful and fragile. She thought about all that had happened, all that would come next. The enormous changes facing humanity as they joined the galactic community. She heard soft footsteps. Nara approached, her silver eyes reflecting starlight. The young Zilarian had become a friend over the past month. They had learned, from each other, grown together. I leave tomorrow too, Nara typed. I will follow in 3 days with the diplomatic team. I will see Earth. Your home, Lily smiled. I will show you many things, she promised. Oceans, mountains, cities. You will meet many humans. Nara seemed nervous, hesitant. For all their advanced technology and ancient culture, the aliens still struggled with expressing certain emotions. I have studied human customs. Nara typed, I have a question. Of course, Lily said. What do you want to know? Nara typed slowly. When humans form a connection, a friendship. What gesture shows this? Lily thought about the question. We have many ways. She said we might embrace. We might touch hands. Nara seemed to gather courage. She extended her palm. But instead of the formal touch they had shared before, she interlaced her fingers with Lily's in the human manner of holding hands. Is this correct? She typed with her free hand. Lily felt tears in her eyes. Yes, she said. This is how friends show connection on Earth. The gesture bridged their two worlds. Different forms, different origins, different histories, but capable of understanding. Each learning from the other. Each growing from the connection. Through the viewport, Earth grew larger as the ship moved closer to home. Lily knew the relationship between humans and Zilarians had been forever changed. The old assumptions were gone. New possibilities had opened, and it had begun not with technology or power, but with compassion. The next morning, Lily boarded the shuttle that would take her home. Nara came to see her off. So did many others, engineers who had worked beside her, medical staff who had treated her burns, children she had helped save during the ion storm. They touched their palms to their chests. In respect, Commander Zira spoke the formal words of departure. May your journey be swift, your path clear. She paused, then added, and we shall meet again soon. Friend. As the shuttle departed, Lily watched the massive mothership grow smaller. She held the memory crystal in her hand, its light changing with her thoughts. She had come to space as a teacher of languages. She returned as something more, an ambassador between worlds, a bridge between species, a symbol of what humanity could offer to the stars. Not conquest, not dominance, but connection, understanding, compassion. The shuttle entered Earth's atmosphere. A new chapter was beginning. Humanity would never be the same. The stars had opened to them, not because of weapons or wealth, but because of the simplest human quality, the willingness to reach out a hand to help another being. As Earth grew closer, Lily knew her real work was just beginning. The most important lesson she would teach the people of Earth was the same one she had taught the Zilarians. Our greatest strength lies not in power but in compassion, not in taking but in giving, not in fear but in understanding. And as the shuttle touched down on familiar soil, she made a silent promise to both worlds. She would build that bridge, one connection at a time.